Hey guys, this is Project 9. I'm just going to go through each question one by one in order. So yeah, starting with the first one. So in my opinion, art increases its value throughout history if there's scars that go along with it. And what I mean by scars, that it tells a story, like how that art piece got to where it was. Like some pieces would need like the original color and lighting to give the impression, but if it doesn't have that, it would demean the actual value. But these scars I'm talking about are like things like examples like World War II art pieces. Soldiers, they would go and they get these art pieces, they bring it back, and these have a story. They tell that, oh, these art pieces survived through a rough time. It survived World War II. It survived how the Nazis tried to like burn all the artwork and stuff and just try to propagate a certain way, kind of thing. It survived in that way, and that shows value to me, and that's what I think the value is trying to. That's the scar. That's the scar I'm talking about. Another example is like the Titanic. If it didn't sink, if it didn't get destroyed, it'd just be another boat. It'd just be another big one out there. Another big one that will just hit a record and that will be broken in the future. But because that Titanic failed, it destroyed, it sank. That is a scar that lives on through that name, and that's how that boat or that ship what became valued, and just because it affected in some way throughout history with some sort of scar. Second question. Right off the bat, to me, it seemed like they stole the art pieces because they could, and they just wanted to insult the museums. And they looked at each other and smiled because it was actually easy for them and they got away with it. And the pieces that they took, they did in like a strategic manner. Like they looked at changing it in a way like changing the original, kind of like what we talked in the last project, Project 8. And they changed the original, and the overall concept of the original is kind of confusing because you don't really know what the original is. So you can kind of run around. The original is kind of like just somewhere, but everything's always changing. Somebody always changing the original. And that's why I feel like they took the pieces just to show that they could do it to a corporation, because the museum is a corporation. They took the art pieces and they try to make money off of it. But they also like wanted to say like the art is in the eye of the beholder, which is kind of cliche, but is really true. Like everybody's gonna have their own opinion on a given piece. The third one, the Darko Maver movie, it's a lot of things mixed into one, and at first glance it was just straight up weird, but it's like a scary movie, but in real life kind of thing. And it looked like they were sending a message of war and the consequences, and in my opinion, it was really pretty interesting that they use like gory mannequins to convey the message and the horrors of war. And the evil twist behind it is like the project was not like the manipulation of media, but they want to manipulate your subconscious, where that's something like not a lot of people could do. And it appealed to me, like it brings out the emotion that we hide and try to suppress, like all the horrors of war and stuff, and we don't want to talk. But the image that they have is like right there in front of your eyes, and as soon as you see it, all that emotion that's bottled up, it comes out. And even though you saw it, it's subconsciously in your head already. So you're always, you already know it, even though you know that, oh, this is a mannequin, but subconsciously you know this could be a possibility of the war. And after realizing it, it kind of brings peace in a way, because now people are kind of like, oh, do we really want to see this? Like, really want to see it? I mean, if it's bad enough and these are just mannequins, why do we want to do this to like real people? No. That's what I kind of got out from that one. So the next question is about the Italian people and the plaques. They kind of did it just to attract tourists. To me, this section was kind of confusing. Like they kind of ran around a lot, but they wanted to just say like the buildings were there and you don't need to exploit it, and like it attracted tourists, but you don't want to be stuck in the past. I don't know. is running around between those points, but the general idea from the practice reading it, like, is just simple, and it's producing a message, and it's effective. But the irony behind it is just because it's stolen. That was pretty funny. I don't know. So the next question. This one is directly shot at the characters and the ideas, like they can't die. Even Franco showed that you can have new ideas, but conforming will kill you. And that's why Mickey Mouse is like in the entrance and he's serving a skeleton eating itself. And basically it's saying you kill yourself by conforming to a standard put out by the media. What I mean by that is, like, when you conform, it's not who you really are. But if you make a statement of who you are, then you are really who you are. Sounds kind of confusing, but it really makes sense if you really think about it. Because you conform, and you're just conforming to something someone else is trying to make you. The exhibition, to me, like, it shows Disney in a particular Disney, and to say how people conform, and it causes like an endless circle of repetitiveness, which is true. And once you follow down that path, it's just endless spiral of no return. And yeah, just don't conform. You want to make a statement, and once you conform, you can't go back. So the only thing you can look forward to escape the norm and routine is probably just going to kill yourself. And that's not scripted, that kind of thing. And the last question, clearly the movie was planned to show the hostility between America and China, and at the same time the clash of ideas of America and Europe about liberty. America, they kind of put it as, oh, we have one hero and that guy's going to go in and he's going to do what the ideal of liberty and democracy and peace is. However, like Europe, they're more united, and that's how they're going to do it. They're going to do it as a team, that kind of thing. And that's like the whole European way and all that, and that's how you get the title, United We Stand. And that message, okay, I believe is like, it's a staged protest on how the U.S. is the one behind everything. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, that's... yeah, like, America has their own ideals, Europe has its own ideals, under the same, like, brackets, like liberty and democracy. They all want that, but they have different ways of approaching it. So that's what I think.